every day could bring something amazing, which is what's like so fabulous about doing things on your own.
Maybe you could tell me a little bit about, Vilte Co.
Vilte Co.
Yeah.
Well, I've done so much, I feel like, in the fashion industry, like my degrees in design, um, that I realized that I'm not good at design. Pattern making, draping were just not my strengths. So I got the degree, but decided to kind of explore what my strengths and weaknesses were. I knew what my weaknesses were, obviously, and my strengths were definitely people skills and journalism. So I just started to take advertising classes and marketing, interned everywhere I could, and kind of landed more in PR. But after doing styling and journalism, worked as a writer and editor, and then just kind of fell into PR and ended up working for an agency, moved to Paris for a little bit and came back and thought, I could do this on my own. And obviously it's not as easy as it sounds, but I'm so glad that I'm doing things on my own terms. It's an amazing feeling to do it on your own. Scary, but amazing.
So as you were getting started, you kind of had made the decision that you wanted to step out and start your own PR firm. Was there anyone in your life that really influenced that decision or that you looked up to as a role model?
I definitely think that my family had the most to do with it. My mom and my sister, they just were so supportive, and just in general, all my friends are like, we don't understand, like, why don't you just do this on your own, start it on your own, and then the real push definitely came from my mom and my sister, because they just believed in me. And I remember when I was like quitting my job, I called my sister from the call, I'm like, I don't know, is this really like what I should be doing? And she's like, you got this, like, there's not even one doubt in my mind that like you're gonna be able to do this on your own. So just through their support, and I still have those days, and it's been a couple of years, but some days I doubted myself, and I just called them up, and they're like, you're amazing, you're gonna do this, you're gonna be super successful, like, this is not even a question. So having their support every day has just been such an amazing. I mean, I don't know how people do it without like a supportive family. Like, there's just, if I ever have any doubts in me, like, I just go to them, and they're the ones that are there. And and my friends that are they're like, why are you stressing? You're gonna be wonderful. Nobody has ever told me that, like, this might not work, and maybe you shouldn't do this on your own. Everybody's just been so fantastic.
One of the things that I feel like I've learned is that as you get older, it becomes more and more important to be selective about who you surround yourself with.
Oh yeah.
And you have to surround yourself with people who are supportive.
Yeah.
Because like otherwise they hold you back. And it's just not a positive environment for you to be in. And I think that's okay to say. Like, it's okay to recognize when people that you might have had in your life before or that you meet but might not be the best to really have a close connection with, because the people you surround yourself can truly make all the difference.
And I think it's also like really, the older you get, the more it becomes like really natural to filter that through, because when we're younger, we feel like we have to like be friends with certain people or do those kind of things. But for me, it's so natural. If I meet somebody that I'm just not vibing with, there's just we're not gonna connect. I'm not gonna call you. You're not gonna call me. Like, it's just not gonna happen. So it's very like we don't have time to waste to have these fake friendships and relationships anymore. So I think it becomes easier to just say, I don't need this person in my life. Next, and that's it.
It is. It's true. It's all about quality.
Yeah.
What would you say has been the most challenging part about starting your own company?
I mean, I guess it would be definitely like the obvious answer, money. Because, like I said, I definitely.
Let's be honest about it. Yeah.
Honest.
Let's be honest.
I definitely was not ready. Like, I didn't have any savings or capital for this kind of thing. And definitely, I think when you start something like this, obviously you should be financially prepared. But just in my case, personally, if I would have waited for that, I probably never would have done it. So for me, kind of throwing myself into these situations that are really scary, I found that that's the best way for me to do anything. So for me, obviously, that was the biggest struggle. But
So you didn't have the savings. You weren't, all prepared. Everything was neat and ready and tidy. And
my mom was like, "Yeah, do it." I'm like, "Okay, so I'm coming over to your house for dinner." She's like, "Okay," 'cause I'm like, my fridge is empty, but at least I woke up every day and I was so happy with what I was doing. And I'm young and healthy, and this is the best time to take those kind of risks, because it's okay if I skip breakfast once in a while. It's not a big deal right now. But I still wake up and I'm just so happy because I'm doing really what I love. I haven't had a day where I'm like, oh God, I have to get up and go to work and dread. Not at all.
No.
So definitely that, the happiness is what's driving me.
Is that the most rewarding part?
Definitely. For me it is, because I'm not so much driven by I need to make $1 million by the end of this year. To me it's I need to wake up happy at the end of the year. So to me the most rewarding part is definitely being able to do things on my own terms, and each day is super exciting, and I know that the world is my oyster. I can do whatever I want. I can travel. I could work, reach out, and not be afraid to reach out to different companies and people and say, I want to do something with you.
Yeah. I remember the day that we ran into each other at a coffee shop.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We both had just gotten a coffee and we were passing on food. We were laughing about it because it's the little sacrifices that you have to make. But I mean, both of us, because I was at the same point. I had just left my job and trying to figure out finances, and that can be the scariest part of not getting a paycheck, not knowing when your next paycheck is going to come. But in the same way, though it was scary, being able to wake up every day and just be excited for what was going to come is the best feeling, and not sort of dread this planned activity that I had to do. Just get in my car, drive to work, do work that I wasn't fulfilled by. Repeat. Yeah, and repeat. Yeah, repeat and every day
could bring something so amazing. That's what's so
you never
fantastic.
know.
You wake up and you're today I could get an amazing client, or I could run into somebody who will inspire me, because I'll work out of a coffee house, but I'll run into a woman that's super inspiring. Yeah. So every day could bring something amazing, which is what's so fabulous about doing things on your own.
Yeah, I agree. Couldn't agree more. Do you have any advice for other girls who want to step out and start their own company, whether that's in PR or
anywhere else? I definitely think the biggest thing is getting out. Just, especially in PR, the days of sitting in the office all day and making calls and writing emails are over. You have to be out every day. You're taking meetings, you go to events, you're going to shows, you're putting yourself out there as much as you can. And I think that definitely applies to other businesses as well. You just constantly have to be out there sort of promoting who you are and trying to meet as many people in your industry and not be afraid. And I think that is a very scary thing. And we talked about it as being out there and talking to people and not being afraid to say what you envision for yourself and what you could do for other people. And continue moving forward, just push it.
Yeah, not being afraid to say what you see for yourself. That's great. So, a couple fun questions to wrap up our little chat here. First off, if you had to pick one song that was going to play every time you walked into the room for the rest of your life, what would that song be?
That is such a hard question, because I'm such I listen to so many different genres all the time. It could be classical, country, hip hop. So it's so hard for me to just pick one song, and as I'm sure as it is to anybody. But I'm such an old soul. I would listen to Beatles and Elvis when I was little. So probably I would say it would have to be maybe something by the Beatles, Lady Madonna or something. Totally old school. Oh yeah, or an Elvis song or something.
That would be good.
Yeah. People what? This young chick coming in here with Beatles all the time.
You would make a statement.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. Okay, question 2. What one story do you hope to be able to tell about your life at the very end of it? Is there anything you really want to be able to do, or someone you've met?
I feel like my story would definitely be just the one I'm living now, like doing something like this that's brave and kind of unexpected and scary. I think that me traveling to Paris, which what I always wanted to do, and I just packed up one suitcase and went with one-way ticket. I mean, to me, that's a story that I'll always be telling, and I think that's gonna stay even when I'm like 80 years old. And then who knows what's ahead? Like, it's exciting. Like, I'm excited to find out what those stories are. I can't even answer that question because maybe the biggest, most fun story is still ahead of me. So
have to wait and see.
You gotta wait and see. I'll get back to you on that.
Chat number 2.
Yeah.
Okay, next question is, are there any words that you live by? Any quote or?
This is gonna sound really, maybe a little bit cheesy, but I have like this. When I started my company, I wanted to have like a little tagline, and I put like Vilte Co, and I was like, what could it be? What could it be? And I came up with this thing that I kind of still go back to and use that, even though it's very simple. So it's the 3 words: love, passion, style, and then I have a little thing that says, love life, live passionately, style accordingly. Because I think that definitely reflects on just how, for us, it's very different. Obviously living life every day, having a passion to live it for, and then style accordingly. Style is not just necessarily clothes, it's just how you present yourself, and it depends on what your dream is. You have to live your life accordingly to that dream.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that.
Feel free to quote me.
I will. It's so fitting, too. It's so great.
Oh, thanks.
Coined by Vilte.
Quote Vilte Co.
I hope that someday I can twist off the bottle of like an iced tea. And
that will be there. Wouldn't that be great? Oh, that's an idea. There you go. Maybe like a tea bag, like it just says that on the tea bag.
That would be great.
Very zen.
Okay, so my final question actually came from a friend of mine who started this like a dinner party game where she asked every girl around the table to complete the sentence, I'm a badass because. So I'm going to ask you, tell me, I'm a badass because. What's your...
I'm a badass because I continue surprising people. I think that's probably it.
Yeah.
I'm a badass because I continue surprising people by taking risks and really doing things that are scary to me.